Thank you, people, for joining me again. As you know, this is Secret Sister on the podcast Allpurpose. Thank you for all the people that has just been supporting, pressing the likes and share button, notification button as well. Your support is well appreciated. Straight from me to you. This morning, people, I just want to talk about a subject today that is on the news this week. And boy, it's a subject that's made me have to bring up another story that's happened in my family. Yeah. And apparently, yesterday in Notting Hill, a baby was found in a bag by a bin man or a cleaner or street cleaner outside a church. And unfortunately, the baby was unalive when I don't know, I think the ambulance people came and people come to help and whatever, but the baby wasn't alive. And they are still searching for the mother who could be in some distress. And boy, people, it was really ironic yesterday that I heard this story and I have to bring up my people again. Yeah, because I was trying to stay clear, but you know, like I say to people, when I started this podcast, I started it off with my own testimonies of my people, family secrets, things that people in the Caribbean world, it may be happening in other cultures, but I'm only going to chat about Caribbean, that, all of these family traumas that people go through, and then people get big, adult, and no one never knows really what their mum and dad or aunties and uncles have gone through in their growing up. You understand? And some of them stories are so horrific, yeah, but it's their testimony for them to say, all right, then I've been through this, maybe that's why I'm the character I am today. But a lot of them, which my family didn't, no one ever told, it was people that just leaked out little bit, until a story just come out of it. And then evidence come as well. Do you understand what I'm saying? Loads of receipts were flying all around the place. Yeah, do you understand? Because not everybody in the family group can hold such sordid stories. And some people have the brain to just say, you know what, I'm just going to put it to one side. And some people, it mentally affects them. So when you see people have anxiety, mental health, all sorts. So, anyway, like I said, the incident of the baby being found this week, you know, just brought back a story that I heard of, yeah, which I never knew when I was growing up. And this is my uncle. Yes, my mother's brother. You understand? Apparently, there was a documentary on ITV, yeah, and documentary is a series called Long Lost Families, which is still on ITV up to today, and it was aired on Tuesday, the 24th, 2022. Yeah, 2022, and that was in May. And basically, the presenter Davina McCall, she does her little bit trying to find people along other presenters. And basically, they found, well, I feel that one of the girls, that was found on the Long Lost family, her testimony is exactly like what's happened today. She was left in a toilet in St. Thomas's, South London. Apparently, she was adopted to some good people. Eventually, when she got into her adultness, she wanted to look for her mother. In the search for looking for her mother, yeah, they found that she had a sister. Yeah, so what the program did is let the sisters, come together. And once the sisters come together, the other sister that they found, her testimony, hey, Chai, was exactly the same. She was also found in a toilet in another hospital, not St. Thomas's, but apparently it was called St. James's. And yeah, they reunited with each other, and they have obviously have gone on to other programs this morning. Lost Family. Yeah, I've watched them all. They're there on ITV for anyone to view. And one is called Natasha, and one is called Leanne. And the age that they were on the program, they were 32, and The first one, I don't know if it was Natasha or Leanne, she wanted to go back to the actual toilet in the hospital. And at the time, I think we was in lockdown, and she had to do this whole experience. The nurse even couldn't escort her through the hospital because of precautions. Anyway, she's gone into the hospital. The cameras couldn't go in there, but she's come out crying. So obviously the experience was moving for her. And boy, she hasn't got no head, no tail of why, what, who, whatever. So anyway, they've done more and more searches, and they've found out they've got other family. And I don't know. This is the part I don't know though, but it will come out eventually because, as you can see, people, one may I dig up. Yeah, nothing can stay secret forever, and a lot of these people that have these secrets, they are now gone. Yeah, they are not here today to tell their tale. And I feel if some of them did maybe release some of this pain that they've got in secret, they may be here today because I'm telling you, having this thing called depression, anxiety leads to mental health, leads to medication, leads to. Yeah. And that's the whole point of me feeling confident to set up this podcast and speak my mind because there's loads of things that happen in the news and you think, wow, that sounds familiar. Hence today. So, like I said, Natasha and her sister, Leanne, they went on the programs, and told everybody, how they found each other and they're looking for their mother. Somehow, this is the part I don't know, they found that they had some form of contact to my family. Yeah. So they found my uncle has got stupid amount of children. Last time I counted, it was over 15, and I'm sure it's like 18 and change. But people believe that enough of them is not my uncle's child. Yeah, my uncle was to me taken advantage of from a young age. Yeah, like I said, certain things that went on in Jamaica, it couldn't happen. Yeah, but that was certain things that was back in the day. I think he was taken advantage of from even taking his virginity. I'm hearing it's older women that need to take their virginity when they're young. So when you got that the mindset, plus my uncle never go to school because he couldn't read or write. His whole makeup from the beginning was wrong. Yeah. So the whole testimony after that, it's at your own peril, innit? Because their mum died when they were young too. By the time they come over on the Windrush boat and come through and say they're settling in London, their mum passed. So they didn't have no guidance. You understand what I'm saying to you? They had to rely on each other. So, like I said, they found that they've got a cousin. No, they've got a brother, which is one of my uncles. And me not even like this, a big old breadfruit youth. You understand? He's too naff. Yeah, since his dad's passed, he's pulling some strings that really and truly he shouldn't have pulled them. You see, when you get production team, ITV that's willing to give you money, people will do the most heinous things for a bag, just for the change. But it's okay, let them go on. You understand? He was so desperate to find out if these were his sisters, which they were. Then he went and brought in my mother, heinous, me even know what to call her. You understand? Apparently, they've done a DNA test, all paid for by ITV people, by the way. You understand? If anybody wanted to do DNA test, the whole heap of millions that my uncle has got prior to finding these children in the toilet, yeah? You understand what I'm saying? None of the ones that are running around like Minion get DNA tests, but this year one year with ITV up here, them go run go take DNA test. So anyway, I went and did my little research. You understand what I'm saying? I remember they showed a newspaper clipping. That newspaper clipping, I remember that newspaper clipping. It's a little piece of space in the newspaper back in the 80s. Yeah, they have it all on the ITV. I remember that. I remember the discussion about that when I was young. God knows I did not know what these adults were talking about, but it was a discussion. And I know why my cousin got to my mother is because he knows she knows the secret. She knows either who the mother is, why these kids were left in toilet, and she knows that it was her brother's picnic. You understand? Hence why he went to her. Yeah, because these girls have gone on TV and said they're looking for family. Yeah, more so their mother. They didn't say they're looking for no auntie or no brother. Yeah, but these two, yeah, the big head breadfruit you, that is my uncle's son, him got keep it secret because there's money involved. So it's not something that's done out of love, people. To me, it's done because you want some form of acknowledgement. Number two, you want the money. You understand? So if you tell more people the money, have to cut up how much different way. Because my cousin has got loads of cousins that are his age group. Yeah. Plus, he's actually got a brother. You understand? Why couldn't you and your brother do the DNA test with you and your two sisters? Now you know that you're your sisters. Nah, you got to bring in the one that has been holding all the secrets because she knows many more. So anyway, when we got to do my little research now, the ladies that were on Natasha and Leanne, they were on the documentary. They claiming that they were 32 while they were doing the documentary. So if they were 32, my uncle died when he was 60 and change, 60 and change. That means their mum was very underage. Yeah. I don't know why they were left like that, who left them, where she gave birth, because clearly that lady never gave birth in the hospital. Same like the baby that was left, yeah, in the dustbin. Where is that mum? People can quickly jump to an conclusion and think, oh, she's a horrible mum. Why would she do that? But these girls are only 18 months apart. Yeah. So if they're sisters, they're clearly from the same man. DNA test is done with my family, claiming that they are my family. Yeah. So they've done it with one of my uncle's children. It's a match up, people. And ITV wouldn't push the narrative if it wasn't true. So the DNA test has come true, saying that everybody is one blood. The only thing, my uncle's gone and we don't know who her mum is. But once two and two put together, that I put together, I mean, I care what them put together. My uncle was doing things unlawfully. You understand what I'm saying to you? And he's lucky that he never get catch. Because I'm sure there's more than one woman out there, apart from these girls' mum, that were underage and were keeping up things and certain things have happened. And you can see that whatever you feel that is in the dark, come out in the light, especially if it's going to have children involved. So whether you adopt them, leave them, if they're alive and they can survive and someone pick them up and love them, there's always going to be a story to tell. When you think your story gone, it's going to affect who you leave behind. So like I said, when I started off this podcast, it was about family secrets. I told you about the family on my dad's side, the brother and sister that had a baby. Yeah, my dad's brother and sister had a baby. Yes, people, yes, they had a baby. You understand? These are secrets. When you're young, you shouldn't have that in your head. Your parents should put you under them pressure. The only secret that you should have is where the money sit on. Yeah. If money is for collecting, my kids know everything about my money. You understand? There's no secret. Oh, my bad, my good, everything. My two boys, you understand what I'm saying? They know. And I'm glad I do the podcast. So if one day they want to click back and look at anything, it's there documented. And it's coming out of their mothers now. Not no third hand, not somebody that don't like their mum. Yeah, that's gonna embellish on the story that they know. Because a lot of people do that. They hear things about people, instead of just hearing what you heard, you add more, you take out, you big up one for nothing big up. And this time your testimony is a load of bleep and bleep. Some people like to throw their hands, throw stones, and hide their hands. And that's my family. Yeah. When they throw their stones and people like me jump up in them, yeah, and dig out them throats yet, yeah. Oh, she's so aggressive. Yeah, yeah. Front aggressive too. I'm not passive aggressive. I'm gonna show you when I'm angry. I'm gonna show you when I'm happy. And I'm gonna show you that I appreciate you. I ain't gonna be calling on no two face. If I said it, I said it. If you want to come ask me, ask me. And there won't be no, anybody I'm talking to, I'm not talking to myself. But the person that carried the news is always the one that's trying to hide something. That's what I'm saying to you people. So like I say, when it comes to family secrets and making judgment, sometimes people look at yourself, look at your own story, your own testimony, things that you don't like spreading around. Yeah, because like I said, the story of the lady that left the baby, it was mentioned, and the amount of negative to me about the mother. And the only negative really that I had to say is that the baby didn't live. You understand? I don't know why the mum did it. I didn't even know how she could have get away with all the cameras that we got. But someone said if you cover up your face and do all of this, but still, it is a tragedy story because whether she give birth, the aftercare, you understand what I'm saying? And there could be so many scenarios. You understand what I'm saying? So many. So your beginnings is very important, people. You understand what I'm saying? So I will always tell people, if you've got anything, at least one of your kids, you should be able to tell even the most demonic thing that you've got deep down. Do you understand? Because at some point it's gonna come out. So don't feel because you're living and you're not talking about it. Some people are just waiting for you to rest. And once you rest, it's gonna come out at your funeral or your night. You never hear, but you never know. That's what happens. The amount of things that you get told is always at the night and the funerals. Yeah, or even the lead up. Once the service get put out on WhatsApp, I bear chat. Did you know about the boy that you never know? I said this and that and rare. But this time, the person that's rare, you've got rare of your own. Why don't you talk about your own shit? Nah, you rather talk about mine. You understand what I'm saying? To make yours sit on the back burner. No problem, because your time will come today for me, tomorrow for you. How about that? But anyway, people, like I said, today was to talk about the baby. And this story is not unusual. Do you understand? And it's so ironic. It's only in Notting Hill. Do you know what I mean? Not far at all. This is in the ends. It's not some over the waters or whatever. It's right here in the ends. And that's why I keep pushing this talk about mental health, looking after yourself, keeping your nose in maybe your business and not other people's. That's why people have headache all the time because they're dipping on enough people argument. You understand? People think they know people. No, there's some secrets that you don't know. Your best friend. You understand? Your man, your pick-me. Do you understand what I'm saying? You might have an inkling, but you don't know the full 100. Look, my uncle passed, and these stories are coming out all the time he was here. Yeah, someone knew it. Someone knew the story. Yeah, apparently my mum knew, and she know a lot more. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? So for her to even carry around these stories about her brother or knowing about someone that was underage that had to get rid of these babies, because like I said, I remember when the story broke. Yeah, and it was in the paper. And the reason why it's a talking point because it was at St Thomas's Hospital where we are close to in South London. So it's not to say something that I just didn't understand it. Like I said, everything come to light. And we're gonna put prayer on the baby that has been lost and put prayer on the mum too, people, because we don't know the circumstances of why the mum would leave her baby. You understand? You know what I mean? We don't even know if this is the first baby that she have or the circumstances, but it had to be something really bad. And we don't know if she gave birth to the baby and it was unalive. So we can't make judgment until authorities pull it out there. Anyway, the authorities, they're only going to get what they get. We, the people, TikTok, get the truth. Trust me, TikTok is amazing when it comes to stories like this. They will get the truth out of the picture they get. So, boy, have a good day, people. I just wanted to put that out there about the baby and show that these stories can land anywhere. Like I said, in my family. So remember the documentary, if anybody wants to go and watch it, it's called Long Lost Family, and it was on ITV, and it was Tuesday, the 24th of May, 2022. So we're going to keep call it a wrap now and enjoy your day. And yeah, like I keep saying, keep the peace. You understand? If you can reach out and be nice to somebody else apart from yourself, and even people, try and be nice to yourself. Though. Some people are cruel to themselves. They're cutting off their nose to spite their face, and they're still not getting anywhere. So at the end of the day, people, yeah, let's put prayer on the baby and the mum, and put prayer on ourselves, on your comings and goings, seen and unseen. Have a blessed day. Thank you for listening.